I'm reviewing Chanel number 5. What is happening? Hi guys, it's Patchouli. How's everyone doing? Good. I hope. I'm reviewing Chanel number 5. I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know who I am anymore. If some of you are wondering why is he acting like that, I've always said I don't like Chanel number 5 and I've never reviewed it. However, you don't have to like a fragrance in order to review it. And up until recently, my opinion changed a little bit. So that's prompted me to review it. Where to begin with this fragrance? Let me just give you a quick rundown. This video is not going to be about the different formulations. Chanel number 5 came out in 1921 and since then it has been regurgitated and changed many times. I don't have the knowledge of the subtle nuances between the different formulations or even the concentrations. I don't know much about many of the flankers that have followed either. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. I have a feeling that this bottle is one of the really old ones. I'm not talking about the 1921 one, but my mum gave me this a couple of months ago and her friend gave it to her and it was that friend's mother's bottle of Chanel number 5. And my mum isn't a spring chicken anymore and her friend is older than her. So if it was her mother's bottle, that leads me to believe that I could be possibly holding one of the real old formulations of Chanel number 5. So this is going to be a blanket coverage video about the way Chanel number 5 smells. I'm not going to talk about the new one smells like this and this one smells like this. I'm going to give you an overall idea of what you can expect to smell when you smell Chanel number 5 as a whole. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. If you've never smelled it before, hopefully this video will give you some insight into what it smells like. And also, many people have said to me, why have you never reviewed Chanel number 5? Why? How come? When are you going to review Chanel number 5? So I'm doing it! So this fragrance is a floral aldehyde fragrance, 1921. First off, I want to say, what is aldehydes? They're tricky little tricksters to describe, but essentially what aldehydes are, plants use aldehydes to preserve their leaves. Aldehydes are preservatives. They smell a bit strange. They were often used in vintage perfumes. They still use them in fragrances now sometimes, but there are many different kinds. Some of them smell peachy, some of them smell fruity, some of them smell sparkly, some of them smell buttery. Think about formaldehyde. It's a preservative. No, actually don't think about formaldehyde, that's kind of creepy. The aldehydes present in this fragrance, it is probably the most famous aldehydic fragrance that exists. And it's probably one of the most famous fragrances that exists, period. Because of the famous Marilyn Monroe quote, of course. The aldehydes in this fragrance, this is the more classic type of aldehyde. The aldehydes in here are the ones that smell kind of soapy, a little bit buttery, a little bit golden, a little bit fizzy, and a little bit powdery. That's what the main body of this is. But what are the notes? So the top notes are aldehydes, ding! Then you also got neroli, peach, ylang ylang, and bergamot. The heart notes are iris, lily of the valley, jasmine, and rose. And then the base notes are patchouli, Mysore sandalwood. I'm pretty sure Mysore sandalwood isn't used in the new one because Mysore sandalwood is so precious and rare. Oak moss, vanilla, and... Sorry, let me do that again. Patchouli, vetiver, oak moss, vanilla, and sandalwood. That's the base notes. So what does it smell like? I've been secretly wearing this on days recently. If any of you are joined to my group, the days that I haven't posted what I'm wearing for that scent of the day, I've been wearing this. So, I'm wearing it today, but I'm going to refresh it. So what does it smell like? Chanel number 5! My mum gave me this because she thought it had gone off. She said, oh, I don't like the smell of it. It smells like it's turned. It smells like it's gone off. I sprayed it and I said, no mum, that's what Chanel number 5 smells like. It's a vintage fragrance. It feels vintage. It feels like it's from another era. So the opening is really interesting. Of course, these golden, buttery, warm and clean aldehydes are right at the forefront. But it also feels a little bit like there might be something resinous in here. And there isn't anything resinous listed, but that's the way it feels to me. It's a tiny bit spicy and it's fluffy as well. There is an immediate powderiness that reveals itself more later on. But in the beginning, it's a bit, whoa. I said this in my last review, that it feels a bit transportative or transportive. It feels like it's from another era because it is, and it doesn't feel modern. The composition is not modern, the way they put the things together in it are not modern, and aldehydes don't usually feel modern, not this kind anyway. It's almost like there is tiny whispers of cocoa in here, Coco Chanel as well, except they're not related, but I feel like they're distant cousins. Like the Coco was the re-envisioning of this in a more spicy oriental way. This one is all about the florals. The ylang ylang in here is present, and the iris I can really feel. The iris and the sandalwood combined are making this feel powdery, but it's got enough punch and body to give it a bit of weight. It's not all fluff. There's a tiny bit of citrus in the opening, but it doesn't feel like bergamot. It feels more, I guess, lemony. Someone's calling. It happens every time. Where was I? So yes, I can see why this fragrance is quite a crowd divider. Some people it's a staple, some people can't stand it. As I said, it's not of a modern time, so a lot of people can't really handle the feeling of it. There is something in here that's, I want to say fusty, but that's quite a negative word. It's almost like a dusky, fusty, fuzzy type feeling. That's the overall feeling of the fragrance. And like I keep saying, if it had a colour, the smell had a colour, it would be gold. It's a golden feeling fragrance. So when it starts to develop, the aldehydes are always present, like I said, but a lot of the complexity in the opening backs off, and this becomes very soft. It's almost like a veil of powderiness that surrounds you. It's not a super projecting fragrance, it's a wafter. I think Marilyn Monroe was right to wear it to bed. It feels kind of comforting and like something you might have put a drop of oil in a bath or something like that. It's definitely powdery, but it's not Baby Johnson's baby powder. I can't speak today, I cannot speak. You get these wafts of gold tinged powderiness that come at you, and it feels 1920s, it feels flapper, it feels, I don't know, just boudoir kind of feeling. It's kind of glamorous, I guess, but I think that's just a connotation of where it comes from in my brain. It manages to be kind of slightly heavy and powdery at the same time. The aldehydes give it weight. The aldehydes give the iris and the sandalwood more weight, so there is enough body to it to make it not just be, I don't know, like a light dusting of powder. So that is the only real change that I experienced. It's more complex in the opening, and it's way powdery in the dry down. The dry down is actually much nicer. When it's in the air, that's when I started to like it, when I sprayed it at my mum's house, and I was thinking, okay, actually, I shouldn't have been so mean about it for a really long time. But anyway, in terms of longevity, I don't think it's worth mentioning because I don't know which version you're going to smell or which one you own or just anything like that. This one lasts a really long time, I can safely say that, so I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of them. But I hope you liked this video. I hope it gave you some insight. If you want to get this fragrance, they do sell it at notino.co.uk. I'll post a direct link below. I'm Alex 110, click my logo down there to subscribe, and I'll see you soon for another review. I'm going to wear it today more. Try and fall in love a little bit more. It feels a bit smoky and weird at the beginning. Interesting. Bye!